Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen wassalatu wassalamu ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina wa Mawlana Muhammad al-Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam bimadadakum wa nazarakum Sayyidi ya Rasul Kareem ya Habib al-Azim madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultan al-Awliya ma Shaykh Abdul Faiz al-Daghestani madad ya Sayyidi ya Sultan al-Awliya ma Shaykh Muhammad Nazim Haqqani madad ya Sultan al-Qulubina Mawlana Shaykh Hisham Kabbani madad al-Haqq Hujjatullahi al-Mukhlas bimadadakum wa nazarakum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Atiyullah, Atiya Rasul wa ulul amri minkum. And always a reminder for myself, ana abdukul ajizu, da'ifo, miskeen, zalim, jahal, and by the grace of Allah that I'm still alive. For Allah's rahmah and mercy, and that to take a path in which we know that we are nothing, and that Allah's rahmah continuously to dress us, bless us, and our life is by each breath. All the plans in the world don't mean anything if Allah doesn't give us a breath, and that breath is like a ishq, like a love, like a sunshine. It's the sweetest of gifts, and its sweetness only opens by these realities of loyalty and good character. This cave that they describe in Surah Al-Tawbah verse 40, where Allah describing in Holy Qur'an about the incident of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, Sayyidina Muhammad and Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, when they left Mecca and moved towards Madina, they stopped in the cave. And don't think that we're alone, Allah is with us. Always in this month of Muharram, it's an opening for us. No matter you've heard this 2 times, 3 times, always a reminder for myself, our life is this cave. This cave that they want us to understand that its foundation, the hijrah, the Sayyidina Ali lies within the bed and represents La ilaha illallah. This is the Zulfiqar, and Prophet took his beloved friend Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, as-Siddiq al-Mutlaq towards Madina Munawwara. These are 2 rivers and 2 blades of the Zulfiqar, and they meet with Prophet at the reality of who. And as Prophet is beginning for us the month of Muharram, they remind us that on that journey to Madina Munawwara means that moving into the city of lights, that's after 13 years of struggling in the heart, because Mecca is the heart. The 13 years of difficulty, 13 years of hardship, of torture and struggle, because Mecca is the heart of the believer. Madina Munawwara is the light of the soul of the believer. So Mecca you have to fight 13 years against yourself, your bad character, your bad desires, all the idols that we put within our life that block us from the real worshipping of Allah. Every vice and every character makes its own ilah in the heart. People who cannot control their vices, that vice becomes a god for them, a divinity within their heart that they are falsely obeying, and anything that you obey of a false nature is a worshipness. So then these 360 idols are continuously fighting, continuously fighting, continuously fighting. When Allah gives a permission that your fight is accepted, your struggle against yourself is accepted, means you're continuously coming against your bad character. And we want you to be from this people of the cave, not that you've completed it. Because that was when Prophet went to Medina, he came back and conquered Mecca. But when Allah accepts the amount of time and struggle and sincerity in the struggle, begin to inspire that what transpired in that cave and the reality of the cave. And that cave they come to teach us is the presence and the heart of Sayyidina Muhammad. At the entrance of the cave is the spider web, so each symbol is for our path. That house of the Ankabut is Surah 29. 29 is Lam Alif, Lam Alif is the Zulfiqar. So now inside this cave is a city of knowledge, and the one whom holds the Zulfiqar Babahu. Means then this spider web has every reality of our being. Because awliyaullah come and tell us that we were all in this cave, all our souls and arwah, Prophet ordered them into the cave. That when your struggle is moving in your Mecca and all those whom are seeking a path of purifying themselves, there's going to be a moment in which Prophet grants them their hijrah, their real movement from haram, from badness towards goodness, and accompany these good shaykhs, kamil shaykhs who take them on this journey towards the city of light. And then this cave of Prophet this heart of Prophet has a spider web. That spider web Allah describes is the most frail of homes. Means your home, your bayt, everything about you is going to be very frail, very subtle. Nothing of you in your life is going to be solid. You're not going to be living in a fortress and infinite amount of money. Everything about your existence is frail. But Allah describes as such a beautiful house, the best of architects. Even those who are studying architecture, you should study a spider web. Nobody can build that now without all of your graphics and all your designs and all your equipment. How this creature by inspiration builds an amazing home. And we're not the people who have to run here and there and do everything and catch huge amounts of rizq. But Allah described the people of this cave who live inside and their reality is inside, they should at least understand their life is that spider web. Means build your web in life and wait for Allah to send your rizq. The flies that the spider he occupies himself building a beautiful house. As a result of that beatific house Allah sends his rizq. He's not out like other animals hunting and trying to attack at everything, but he does his good amal, his good actions, his awrads, wazifas and zikrs. If he's good with Allah his house like the house of the Ankabut, very beautiful. When the house is perfected Allah sends the rizq, Allah sends the flies. If there's an error in that house, the fly will go through, the rizq falls through the hands of that servant and they can't reach towards what Allah is sending them. So it means every year we recalibrate our reality, our understanding, reminder always for myself that this rizq, this web, these awrads, this zikr, our whole way is based on making sure they're the best that it can be. As soon as we have that understanding that this Zulfiqar, this reality of La ilaha illallah hu Muhammadun Rasulullah, they are the people of who? And one of their blades is La ilaha illallah, then it goes to Hey wow Muhammadun Rasulullah. They are the people who carry that Hey. The Hey itself because hidayat and guidance, they guide people to these two shaykhs. They don't guide people to La ilaha illallah only, because what Allah wants you to say La ilaha illallah for without Muhammadun Rasulullah, because He wants the perfection of faith. So these Hey and these men of God which can be men or women but they're mature, they carry that hidayat. And the hay has its own built-in wow, right? You put the hay sometimes like this and there's a little wow hidden inside. It comes with its own love because they are the people of who. So they're teaching these men of God, these rijal, they are the people of the who, and Allah gave to them that sort of reality and they're guiding everybody into that cave. That come and understand our life is to build our wazifas, our awrads, our zikrs, our mahfils, our salah, our zakah, our sawm, our hajj, all of that is beautiful to Allah and all of that is frail, soft, latif. If done correctly, the rizq flows to that spider, to that ankabut. Then they say, look inside the cave, there were 2 eggs because the master of this cave is Thaqalain, he is the sultan of malakut and mulk. You're not going anywhere, you're going to the supreme location. Well, Allah want to draw attention, eggs represent creation. This sultan that you're trying to enter into the heart of, he's the sultan of the heavens, Malik al-Hayat wa Malik al-Mulk. Mim ha, mim dal. Malik al-Hayat because malakut is not something that can be seen but it's all alive, it is the source of life for everything. The Prophet is that sultan. And Malik al-Dunya means that anything that manifesting is under the sultanate of Sayyidina Muhammad. Then when we enter into that cave we begin to look that the presence of Prophet is there, and next to the presence of Prophet is Sadiq al-Mutlaq, the perfected Sadiq, the perfection of truth, that he didn't mix false with truth. There's no way to lie and cheat and be a Sadiq. A Sadiq al-Mutlaq means he left all the bad character, he left the cheating, he left the lying and deceiving, and begin to sit there that Prophet say, in this heart of mine you have to be like Sayyidina Bakr as-Siddiq. He has to train you and perfect your character, that the Siddiqiyya character is that you gave everything for Prophet. And when Prophet will ask you, what did you leave? I said, I left La ilaha illallah Muhammadun Rasulullah. There's nothing from this dunya to give to people. They give everything of their being for the love of Prophet. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq comes to perfect that character. How could you carry on and hold on to your badness, to your desires, to your tongue, to all of the things that are detestable to the Divinely Presence, and they teach, give it all away, walk away from it. Walk away from even who people think you are, all of it is a lie. And we described many years ago the song, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name. It's good to get out of the rain because in the desert there's nobody to call you and to give you your shame. Means this world knows you by a name, and they gave you an image, they gave you a form, they gave all sorts of expectations by that name. When these seekers they enter into their seclusions, they realize even the name that people know me by is garbage. I don't know what they identify with that name. What is the wreckage of my past and what have I done? And they even tried to bury their name and said that in that desert there's nobody to call you and give you your shame, means you have to have a life in which you try to isolate from everyone. So you don't complain and say it's like a prison. You be thankful if Allah is guiding you towards real guidance, because later when they walk in the desert they found out actually this desert is the ocean but with the water below. What seems to be so harsh and so horrible, every desert looks harsh, but anyone who studied knows there's an ocean under the desert. So it's the reverse of this dunya. This dunya shows you its ocean is water is everywhere and the sand is below. But what Allah wants is, no, walk on the sand, take the hard part with the sun that cooking your head, there's water below. When you're patient and good, Allah will bring the water below, this oceans of hayat to come out for you. But you can't pretend you're already in the hayat and think, I'm going and digging towards Allah. No, Allah say, take the desert, take the hardship and the testing, like the heat boiling your head until we bring the water out and you drink from the fountains of life. If that character of Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is in there, because this is the month, this is not the month to pass it and talk about it in Safar. Say, Shaykh, you didn't tell us in Muharram. No, this is the month. Is that, Ya Rabbi, we're asking that with all these shuhada Karbala, all the realities of Ashura, that by their blood, their struggle, their way, make me to be halal, make me to be clean, make me to be purified, inspire my heart to do something right, Ya Rabbi. If these are my ancestors and these are the ones whom I love, I don't want to be raised ashamed in their presence where they have to, oh my God, he's here. Yeah, what do you think, they're going to be happy? After what they accomplished in this life, we finally show up, it's humiliating. So we're saying, no Ya Rabbi, don't let me be humiliated like that. They're going to play my video for everyone. You think in that realm there's a video that your eyes are not recording? All they have to do is play your eyes back. No camera they have to bring, or say they're going to bring something. Your own eyes recorded everything. If Allah described and begin to play your eyes back for people. And I saw a show on Black Mirror, there's a series of a tech mirror, everyone's eyes were recording everything and they would sit at a party and play each other's eyes. It was horrific because you could see how you humiliated at work or what you were doing in your privacy, and everybody wanted to see what other people's eyes, and Allah reminding, hey, do you see this scene? You're going to be raised on Judgment Day like that. I don't even need you to talk, I'm just going to release the video from your eyes, because there's a chip in the back of your head, I think they call it like a pineapple thing. There's a chip in you that's actually recording everything on infinite capacity, digital processing. Allah just play your eyes for people. Ya Rabbi, I'm finished, grant me to have good character. They say, if you want the siddiqiyya character then sit with them. And Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq begin to come and inspire, sit with my teaching, sit with my way, leave all your bad characteristics, leave them and walk away from them, isolate who you think you are and know that you're nobody. Sit there, and in that cave there's a little hole. Because when Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was sitting in the cave, there was a hole where a snake was trying to come. There's a hole in which a snake was coming, and Mawlana Shaykh's teaching that everyone has a black dot on their hole in which shaitan can enter into their heart and begin to immediately make them to be angry. They're like fiery people, in an instant they flame up. One word can trigger them to flame up, because that hole is so open that shaitan just has easy access. Why Allah then said, no, you follow the ones whom inheriting from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, they're going to teach you that that hole has to be covered. Because Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was sitting in the cave, Prophet leaning on his knee, means this closeness and this reality is immense in its closeness to Prophet, not something small, Naqshbandiyatul Aliyah. And Siddiq al-Mutlaq is going to teach that my qadam, my foot has to be on the hole where that shaitan is coming, because shaitan cannot attack the mukhlas. When they say, I'm going to attack all your servants from all directions, Allah clarified in Qur'an, no, you cannot attack my mukhlas. So when Allah loves you, He inspires you, be with these siddiqs. They will teach your qadam, your foot, your path, your way to plug that shaitan. So every advice they give, every teaching they give, every direction they give is that make your path strong. keep your wudu, keep your practices, keep that foot on the hole. If you don't cover that hole, shaitan will be in and he will destroy everything in the heart. Because that shaitan was coming to bite Prophet. You think he has a possibility to bite Prophet? No. But what will happen is if shaitan comes into the heart, Prophet will leave, because he's not going to be in the presence of a shaitan. Unless we plug that heart and take that position in the character of a Siddiq al-Mutlaq, understood all of those realities, the promise from Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq is then you will be very close to Prophet because I'll give you from my love and my inheritance, my access to Prophet because that's what Prophet wanted. That make your character like my beloved Sayyidina Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. If you carry that character, that truthfulness through testing, the good example, and that you kept your qadam and your path upon that hole where shaitan is entering, no doubt you'll be very close to Sayyidina Muhammad, and that becomes the Divinely heart, that becomes the heart of ishq, that becomes the heart of ahbab al-Nabi whom their whole being is the love of Prophet. Their whole fragrance is the love of Sayyidina Muhammad, and everything they take that love from that. Means they understood when they have that love and that level of love for Prophet, when the sun comes in the morning and they see the rays and the light of the sun coming, they see that Muhammadan light, it begin to touch the flowers. And the flowers because of their love for Prophet begin to open. They can hear the zikrs, they can sense the fragrance. The flower begins to make its zikr out of its shukr that that light shined upon it, and then begins to release its beatific fragrance. And Allah say, can't you be like that? Why you think you're such big people you insan? You still can't even mimic one of my flowers. That it just stays closed at night, it takes all sorts of wind, all sorts of hardship, and it prays, especially in Vancouver, poor flowers. They're praying for just one day of a ray of sun to come, and oh how it's so happy, it's praisings, it's beatific. It makes you happy because you hear it too, but you just don't know that you're hearing it. When the sun comes out, all of Allah's creation is happy. Why? This is Nur Muhammadi coming and dressing them. From that morning dew when the water of creation comes, Allah said, I created everything by my. You see Allah making the my by what? The sun and the coldness of this earth makes condensation. Through condensation, when Allah is the heat of all creation and Prophet is its coolness to make it tolerable and inhabitable. The product of that relationship of hot and cold is a condensation. Our whole being and existence is coming from that reality. And the flowers begin to praise with a beatific praise, begin to release all their fragrances where people you see them walking on these trails so happy from the fragrances they're getting. Allah says, you could be so much more like that. You could become so fragrant if your character was good, that every time Prophet shine upon you, you would be giving love and ishq to everybody, giving good words, good fragrances, so they go home feeling perfumed, feeling light, feeling good. Not fighting and being aggressive and backbiting and lying and all the bad characteristics. We pray that Allah open for us these realities. This is the month in which Allah opens the doors, Bab Tawbah, and that only Allah are lined up to take us on that journey inshaAllah. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifoon wa salaamun al mursaleen walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen bi hurmati Muhammad al-Mustafa wa bi sirri Surat al-Fatiha. Alhamdulillah.